So we have a Game of Thrones spinoff, we have a Mega Man movie, a Monster High movie, a Teen Wolf spinoff, and Jason Blumhouse says that he can get Robert Englund back to play Freddy Kreuger again. We have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Kevin, and if you enjoy all things movies, trailer reactions, reviews, news, everything in between, do me a favor, consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Now, with that selfish plug out of the way, let's get started with this Game of Thrones spinoff that we have. Now, according to Hollywood Reporter, HBO is in very early productions of a spinoff that's going to follow Jon Snow. Now, unlike the spinoff that we're getting, The House of the Dragon, which is going to follow the Targaryen family a couple hundred years before the main series, this one is going to follow Jon Snow directly following the main series and his life beyond the wall. Now, details are scarce and they're few and far between, but according to Empire and Hollywood Reporter, it is saying that Kit Harington is set to return as Jon Snow, which is always a good thing. We don't need to be recasting people. That would just make things weird. And we're basically just going to see what happens to him after the main series. We know his sister took over as Queen of the North, and his brother Bran becomes King of the Six Kingdoms. So we have no idea what happens to Jon Snow. This series is supposed to explain all that. Now again, since this is very early production, we're not even sure this will get all the way through production and actually hit the screen. But we'll just have to keep an eye on it and find out, because I know there's a lot of Game of Thrones fans out there. I absolutely love the original series. I'm anxious to see what House of Dragon turns out to be like. And this one, obviously, being Jon Snow, who was a major part of the series, I feel like is going to get a lot of attention if this spinoff goes through. Now, Teen Wolf is another series getting its own spinoff. We do know that Teen Wolf is getting its own movie with the original cast here very soon, but it's also getting a spinoff called Wolfpack. This is actually an adaptation of a series of novels by Ido Belcom. And this says that Paramount Plus has the lead roles already casted. Now, according to Collider, it says that the series is bringing in Armani Jackson, who plays in Honor Society, Bella Shepherd, who played iCarly, Chloe Rose Robertson, who was in Wildflower, and Tyler Lawrence Gray, who played in Our Town and Macbeth. They are going to be the starring cast. Now, it says that these group of teenagers are going to be facing down a great evil in the woods. Two of them, a boy and a girl, are forever changed in the wake of a beast's attack and are drawn together to figure out what exactly happened to them. They meet two other teens, a pair of fraternal twins, who were adopted by a park ranger after another wildfire raged through the area, and under the glow of a full moon, they all realize they carry the blood of a werewolf. So it's mildly familiar to the original Teen Wolf series, but a little bit different. We have fraternal twins who are adopted, which kind of reminds me of the twins from the original series. And we also have the boy and the girl. I'm not sure how they're going to play into this, if they're going to be best friends or brother sister, or how that's going to play out. It doesn't really say. It does say that Jackson stars in the series as Everett, Shepard as Blake, Chloe Rose Robertson is going to be playing Luna, and Tyler Lawrence Gray is going to be Harlan. Now, what gives me high hopes for this series is that it says Wolfpack will be written and executively produced by the Teen Wolf franchise longtime creator, Jeff Davis. Now, not only did he do the series, but he's also working on the upcoming movie. So I'm expecting the same feel from Wolfpack as I got from Teen Wolf. I really like Teen Wolf. I love the way it was filmed. I love the director's perspective of it. I just love everything about it. And I'm really expecting and hoping that we can get the same from Wolfpack. Now, Collider also says the production gets underway in Atlanta, Georgia next week, with a potential release date from Paramount Plus later this year. Now, of course, I want your comments on this and everything else we're talking about today, so make sure you're leaving all your comments down below. If you're enjoying the content so far, do me a huge favor and drop a like on it for me. I would greatly appreciate it. So that being said, let's move on to our next topic, and that is a Mega Man movie. Now, with the growing popularity of video game movies coming out, there has been talk, I can't even remember how long ago, of a live-action Mega Man movie. Now, unfortunately, that movie kind of quickly lost traction, but it looks like it's starting to pick back up again. Now, originally the movie was set to be made by 20th Century Fox by Disney, and the studio dropped it. Back in 2021, it looks like Netflix had picked it back up. Now, it says the movie is still in early production, as to be expected, considering it's been in hiatus forever. But it seems like Netflix has acknowledged the rise in popularity of video game movies, and they want to move forward with it. Now, I'm a big fan of the Mega Man games. I love playing them growing up. I think the storyline is there. I think we can make a good movie out of this, especially with the success of Sonic the Hedgehog. The storyline they came up with that was really good, and I think the storyline for Mega Man is just as good as Sonic. Now, basically, if you're unfamiliar with Mega Man, it's humanoid robots battling it out. Each one is a different power, with Mega Man being the hero character. Now, with each robot that Mega Man defeats, he adapts their special abilities. And that's one of the things I think could make this movie really interesting. Now, just like Sonic, it's going to have to be very closely based to the video game. We're going to have accurate characters, accurate colors. Everything's going to have to be as close to the game as possible. I think it's all going to be based on budget. Really, I mean, if it does go straight to Netflix, Netflix is making some really good movies right now, so it should have a pretty decent budget. And I think it's going to take a while and a few different revisions to get it just right. But if they take their time, I think this could be a really good movie. So let's move on to a movie that's a little bit farther along, and that is the Monster High movie. Now, when I told my 6- and 3-year-old daughters that we were getting this movie, they got very excited. Now, according to Collider, it's saying that Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus are bringing the Mattel's horror-inspired Monster High dolls to life this fall in a Monster High movie. Now, they also shared some concept art and a teaser behind the movie saying the monster world versus the human world will follow Claudine Wolf and her friends on their first day at Monster High. The movie will follow Claudine as she finds a place for herself in Monster High, but when a secret devious plan threatens the school, she must learn to accept and embrace her monster heart to save the day. Now, here's a picture of Claudine that they shared with us. She is going to be the main character or leader of the pack, as it says here in the poster, and she is supposed to be a werewolf. Then we have a look at one of her friends, Laguna Blue, who is supposed to be a sea monster of some sort. I'm not sure what kind. She's got a lot of tie-dye and rainbow colors going on. So I don't know if that's an indication of her creature or they just gave her a bunch of colors because she is a water monster. Then we have a look at Cleo, the undead diva. Obviously, I think we could take a good guess that she's the mummy. A lot of dark blues and purples. Has the Cleopatra look going on. Then we have Frankie the Live Wire. And this one, I believe, is an adaptation of Frankenstein. And we also have Draculaura. She's the fantastic sorceress. And I believe she's also a vampire. These characters I have heard of before, thanks to my daughters watching it and constantly hearing it in the background. So the other characters that we're about to go over, I'm not familiar with at all. I don't even think that they're in the show because my daughters had no idea who they were. One of which is Conius, the creature teacher. This guy just, again, looks like your basic teacher with some horns on his head. Not sure how he's going to play into it. But we also have another one called Deuce, the guy with killer looks. I don't really see any distinguishing creature features. No pun intended there. I really don't see any indication of what kind of creature he could be other than green eyes. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be or how he plays into this, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. And the next one up is Heath the Hothead. Obviously, he looks like a jock wearing a leather jacket, and apparently he's probably got a bit of a temper, judging by the look on his face. So I think that he's going to end up being a troublemaker. And the last one we have a look at is the headless head of the school, Bloodgood. And she looks like she could be very strict, so I'm sure that the Monster High girls will probably end up getting into some trouble with her. It did give us a 30-second teaser trailer, so we'll take a quick look at that. And let's see what we have going on.
Whole life in hiding. Maybe I'll have better luck in the monster world. First day of class tomorrow. I'm all charged up. Everyone says...
Yeah, it looks like it's got kind of a fun feel to it.
I love it.
Deadly hair, deadly eyes. Everyone makes assumptions about me.
Oh, there's the guy that I wasn't sure what creature he was. All right, something tells me this is going to be a musical. And if it's not a musical, there's going to be a lot of singing and dancing in it. And that's just out of the first 30 seconds that we got of a trailer. So let me know down in the comments what you think of that one. Last but not least, Robert Englund had stated a long time ago that he was 100% done with being Freddy Kreuger. Now, we all know what happens when you repeatedly play a certain character. You basically become that character. There is no other role that you will be known for. And that's basically what happened to Robert Englund. He's played Freddy Kreuger so many times that he has become Freddy Kreuger. That's it. It's just, he is Freddy Kreuger. Now it seems that Blumhouse Productions is trying to get the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street. If they want to reboot the movie, Jason Blum himself said that he thinks he can coax Robert Englund back into playing Freddy Kreuger one more time. Now, Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions said in an interview with Screen Rant that if he does get the rights to Elm Street, that, quote, I could make him come back. I could get anyone back. I mean, Ellen Burstyn was 87, and I got her back in the upcoming sequel to The Exorcist. So I don't know, is that cocky or confident? I mean, because he seems pretty confident that he can get Robert Englund back to play Freddy Kreuger. And when somebody says they're completely done with the character, normally there's not much you can do to bring them back. But Jason Blum says he can do it. But it also sounds like he's really working hard on getting Nightmare on Elm Street copyright, and he plans on making a reboot of it. Now, I know there's been a lot of copyright issues going on lately, especially with the Friday the 13th. But according to Bloody Disgusting, who is a very reputable horror movie website, they're saying that the copyrights to Nightmare on Elm Street are far less complicated than the ones for Friday the 13th. Now, they're saying that Wes Craven had actually created Freddy and wrote the original screenplay for New Line Cinema, who produced and released A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, Wes Craven's estate is the sole owner of the U.S. rights to Freddy Kreuger and Nightmare on Elm Street, while New Line Cinema continues to own the international rights. It continues saying that Wes Craven's estate can keep it simple and make a deal with Warner Brothers / New Line Cinema and keep it all in the family. Now, there is a slightly more complicated route that they could go, and that would involve teaming up with Sony and Lionsgate and Universal, and they would partner up with Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, and then they would talk about international distributions and things like that. But I think that Jason Blum is really looking for the easiest route here. At least that's what it sounds like in the article. And his main goal would be to get Robert Englund back in the Freddy Kreuger costume. So the big question is, do you think that Robert Englund would actually sign on for another Nightmare on Elm Street? And if Jason Blum actually does pull this off, is this going to be a reboot or is this going to be a sequel? If he rebooted it, it could be good, it could be risky. Or does he make a sequel following all the originals, which could also be risky? So do we go reboot or do we go sequel? But let me know what your thoughts are on this and everything else we covered today. Do me a favor, drop a like on the video for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm Kevin, and I'll see you at the concession stands.